Hey everybody, how you doing? We've got a mission here today. Alright, so as you all know, there's a heat wave going on in the southwest, particularly Texas is hard hit. So we're flying 4,000 pounds of electrical generators down to El Paso, where they can be distributed to people that are without power. Alright, so we're in the big Super DC-3, Ames, Iowa, heading to El Paso, Texas. Alright, let's do the taxi. Let's get out there and rock and roll. We'll take off from runway 19er, right off to our left.
Kilo Delta Mike Whiskey, traffic, Douglas November 410 Delta Whiskey, is taxiing to runway 19er.
I've got the flight plan laid in, the navigational radio beacons tuned in. We'll be flying at 10,500 feet. Not a lot to see in the first part of the trip, just Midwest cornfields and soybeans. I'll give you a quick preview of the takeoff procedure. Once we get on the runway, we'll spool up. And that reminds me, as I was doing everything here, I did not do my run-up yet. Okay, I don't hear anybody else on the radio, so we'll make a quick stop here and do our run up, and I can get my propeller RPM set by doing that. One other thing, didn't go through my checklist. We'll extend the flaps, stage 1 about 10 degrees, 11 degrees down, stage 1. Alright, we'll do the run-up now. I'm going to advance the throttle up to about 45 inches on the manifold pressure. There we are right there, manifold pressure, 43. Now you see the RPM is going to settle down a little bit, but we want to pull that RPM lever back to about 25. There we go. Got our takeoff power set. We'll continue our taxi. Got our landing lights on, takeoff lights. Cow flaps open 100%. Now I don't know if this is modeled in the game. And I don't see it on the panel, but on my interactive clipboard here, let me find it, blower, there we go. We're going to set that to high for takeoff. There's our cargo manifest, 4,000 pounds of generators.
Kilo Delta Mike Whiskey, traffic, Douglas November 410 Delta Whiskey, taking off runway 19er, departure to the west.
Okay, as I was going to say, the takeoff procedure, we get up on the runway there, we'll spool the engines up, release the brake, gentle pushing forward on the yoke to bring the tail up at about 40 knots, then let the plane settle just a little bit, and then about 80 knots, we'll do our rotate takeoff. About 100 feet off the deck, we'll pull in the gear, the landing gear, and then about 400 feet or so in a positive rate of climb, we'll bring the flaps in. Oop, did I miss the turn? That didn't feel right. Yep, missed the turn just a little bit there. We'll get lined up here. we go. Release the brakes. Starting to roll, we're at 20 knots, 30 knots, 40 knots, gentle push forward on the yoke. There's the tail wheel, a little late at 60. All right, settle back, about 80 knots here, and pull back on the yoke, and the big bird will take off almost on her own. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Gear up. Get those big balloon tires out of the drag. Want about 1,000 feet climb. A little more trim. There we go. She's coming up. 100 knots. 1,000 feet per minute. Gonna shoot for 1,200 feet per minute. This thing's got a lot of power. I want to turn right to our intended heading just a little bit. Alright, good positive rate of climb, flaps in. There's our heading. Looking over at my interactive clipboard and on my gauges here, my cylinder head temperature is in the yellow. So we're going to go ahead. It's pretty warm outside right now today, but we're going to go ahead and hit the carb heat. That'll bring the cylinder head temperature up. Turn the landing lights off. Holding pretty steady at 110 knots. Going to bring the cowl flaps in to 50%, still showing yellow on the manifold temperature. 50% cowl flaps. Good climb out, good climb out. We're flying VFR, so we're just on our own. We're not going to be communicating with any towers along the way. What time is it here? It's 7:39 in the morning, and right now we're showing 31 Celsius. I have to come to my little chart. That's 87 degrees at 7:30 in the morning. Wow, it's warm. That's the Des Moines River that we're looking at here through the windscreen. And I just saw the nav aid come into play here. We'll look for the listen for the Morse code, and that's showing 150 miles away. There it is. And you can see here on the HSI, the horizontal situation indicator, the arrow, the yellow arrow with a middle, the middle piece of it split off. That means I'm not on course. Yep, there's that. The Cessna Skyhawk on the left there. He was just told to look out for me. He's at 4,500 and coming down, and we are at 5,500 feet going up, so we're good to go, good to go. As we gain altitude, the map pressure will fall. We'll just add a little as we go. "105 knots climb out, 1,000 feet, 1,100 feet per minute. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All the gauges look good. Everything's in the green. Passing through 7,000 feet. I am hand flying this. I've not turned on the autopilot yet. I really haven't had to do much. This thing trimmed out real nice, real quick. Alright, my cylinder head temperature has now gone the opposite way, a little hot. So we're going to open up the cowls just a little bit more. We'll go to 70%, see if we can get that temperature down. Add a little throttle. Passing through 9,000 feet. Remember, we're going to 10,500. Alright, we're going to activate the autopilot and set our heading. That'll come on automatically. We're right there. Now we're going to trim back, level out at 10,000. Level out at 10,500. Yeah, we got up to 10,700. That's not too bad. Oh, yeah, that alternator. Oh, that altitude hold bug glitch. It was fighting me. Okay. Okay. Alright, we're at 11,000. Okay, now I've got control of the trim. Had a little bit of a bug there, a little glitch. Come on, big boy, level out. There he is. I've got it now. I got control of it now. All right, so we will turn on the altitude hold now. That'll hold us at 10,500 feet. We're at cruise level. Get our numbers set here. Bump up the map as much as we can. I think it'll only go to about 43. Yeah, at this level. All right, we're at smooth and level flight, 10,500 feet. clipping along at 175 knots, which equals 244 miles per hour. It is just about 10 to 8. Outside temperature is 18 degrees Celsius. Go back to my cheat sheet. 18 degrees at 64 degrees outside. And we've got our pitot heat on and our carb heat on. Cylinder head temperature is a little on the cool side, but it's in the green. I have not turned the blowers off, so we're going to go to low blower. I don't know if that's actually modeled in this aircraft. I know on the DC-6 it is. Alright, so we're in auto mixture mode, so we don't have to worry about adjusting the fuel mixture. We're on our proper heading. Everything looks good. Alright, since we're at smooth and level flight here now, I'm going to walk back and just take a look at the cargo and make sure it is still secure. Everything looks good back here. Alright, we're 2 miles away from our very first waypoint at Pawnee, Nebraska. The course will change just a little bit to 217 from 227. I'm going to turn off the heading of the nav button so we're no longer flying the radio beacon. Turn that off. Alright. And we're right there at the waypoint. You can see it's 1.8 miles, 1.7. On the GPS, it's already switched over to the next waypoint. We'll give it to about... There we saw everything change. So I'll go to my new heading of 217. There we just saw the directional change on the VOR navigation beacon. Alright, we're on our course. Go ahead and set my heading. Then here on the radios, we will swap our frequency to the next waypoint. And we have picked it up already. Okay. We'll just dial this back in so it's a straight line with an arrow at the top pointing our direction. And then I can go back to my nav button, my nav hold button, and lock onto that signal. Could fly GPS, which does the turns automatically and all that. I kind of like to do some of that manually. It's 8:30 in the morning. Now the Super DC-3 does not draw fuel from the tanks automatically. Let's switch over to the fuel control system panel. Okay, here we are on the fuel system control panel. We can see that the main tanks have about 819 pounds of fuel in them. The inboard auxiliaries are still full at 1,200 pounds. I'm not using the wing tanks. They are empty. So we're going to draw fuel from the inboard auxiliary tanks into the mains. We'll switch our valves and turn on the transfer pumps. And now we see fuel being drawn from the inboard auxiliaries into the mains. If we wanted to be lazy, we could leave these transfer switches and pump switches on, and kind of like a there's a float bowl, you know, once you get to a certain level full on the mains, it'll no longer transfer from the auxiliaries, and you can just leave these on, and then as the mains drain, the auxiliaries will fill it. But why leave the pumps on full time, running them pumps, putting hours on them? So we do this all manually. Once these mains get full, we'll shut everything off, and then do that again in about another hour or so until the auxiliaries are empty. Alright, the mains are now full at 1,212 pounds. We can shut down the valves, the transfer valves, and the transfer pumps. We're good to go. Looking over our gauges, everything's in the green, everything's running smooth. Clipping along at 179 knots, 246 miles per hour, 10,500 feet. You can see over on the GPS here, got the map zoomed fully out. There is our flight. I think, yeah, that should be El Paso right there. The whole flight is now on the board since we have shifted a little bit and the map has shifted. So there's Ames, there's El Paso. 73 miles from our next waypoint, Salina, Kansas. Alright, I'm going to pop back here into the jump seat, stretch my legs, let my co-pilot Gina take over. I'll see you in an hour or two. Alright, we're just about a mile away from our next waypoint turn. This waypoint is Gage, Oklahoma, and then there's the turn. I'm on GPS now, letting George fly the plane. Now we're going to be heading toward Panhandle. That's our next waypoint. We're going to skip over Oklahoma Panhandle here and the Texas Panhandle. We'll be in Texas for a little while, and then we'll skip over into New Mexico before our final stop way west, central Texas, which is El Paso. So everything's in the green, everything's looking good. This is our halfway point. I have done another fuel transfer, everything's good to go. We'll see you in New Mexico. Alright, we're back. It's about 20 after 11. Not even noon yet. Right up ahead, Roswell, New Mexico. Keep an eye out. I didn't see anything. Alright, about 120 miles to El Paso on our last leg of the flight. We'll see you at the descent and landing. Okay, we're about 55 miles outside of El Paso. We went through a time zone change. Last we spoke it was about 11:20, now it's 10 to 11 local time. Okay, so we're going to start the descent. First thing I'm going to do is throttle way back. We're going to go down to about 20 inches on the manifold pressure.
135.875 for 18 on line. I've heard greenway left Yankee. Turn right heading 3205 and maintain 8,000.
Gonna woe this big guy down. Cow flaps have been at 30. I've had to have them open today. It's been a pretty warm day. Usually I can get by at about 10 degrees on the cow flaps. So we're gonna crack them open a little bit more to 50%. We'll keep an eye on the cylinder head temperature. Gets too warm, we'll open them up some more. I've got the ILS for runway 22 dialed in on both of my radios, and when we hear the Morse code beeps, we will know that we're about 25 miles away. That's about the range of those ILS beams. So we're still holding steady here at 10,500 feet. We're down to 140 knots. And the altitude the elevation of El Paso is 3,958 feet, 3,958. So we're going to want to go down to about a 5,000 foot altitude, and that'll be a good pattern for us to enter the airspace and make our landing. So we'll go down. We're going to change the autopilot altitude here down to 5,000 feet. At least let the autopilot take us down to 5,000. Speed will come up just a little bit as we descend. Due to the direction that we're heading, like I said, I'm pretty sure the tower's going to give us runway 22, and that works out just fine because the warehouse that I'm supposed to pull off at to offload the supplies is right off of runway 22.
135.875, maintain on line. Piper Green Lima Yankee, please expedite your climb to 8,000.
Got some nice fluffy clouds to fly through here.
Albuquerque Center, Southwest 675, Whitney. Bombardier 8 Lima uniform. Contact Albuquerque Center at 128.2. Southwest 675, Albuquerque Center, roger. Piper Green Lima Yankee, please expedite your climb to 8,000.
I think I'm supposed to pull back the props here to about 2150 for the decline. I know approach is that, so we'll go ahead and pull them back just a little bit here.
Turn right heading 180, Piper Green Delta.
Actually, what we can do, since I'm not membering it,
Piper Green Delta, traffic is 9 o'clock, 4 miles at 10,000. Each Spirit, report them inside.
okay, doesn't say anything about that. Okay. So we'll go ahead and put the props back where they were.
11 Foxtrot has a Piper Archer in sight. Piper Green Delta, traffic in sight.
And I guess while we're at it, we should probably go through the approach checklist. Auto rich, cowl flaps half open, they already are. Carb heat as required. It is pretty cold outside. The carb heat is on. pitot heat is on. 2150, there it is. 2150 RPM on the props. Landing, airspeed 144 knots. Rate of descent 300. Landing gear we can drop at 144 knots. First stage of flaps is at 121. The landing lights on at 144 also. Landing assured propeller control is full increase, so then we slam that baby forward. Half flaps at that point, airspeed 95, and we touch down.
Albuquerque Center, 8 November 518, on line, with you 11000. Piper Green Lima Yankee, turn left heading 060, climb and maintain.
Now runway 22 does have the ILS, so I will try to capture that, and that'll bring me in for the most part to about 500 feet, and then I'll take over. The DC-3's control surfaces are a little sluggish, and I have found it kind of tries to, it captures the ILS, then it loses it, then it kind of struggles to get back to it. So I'll use the markers on the gauges, you know, to help with my descent, but I may end up hand flying it.
Southwest 030, you're at 400 below your assigned altitude. Turn right heading 080, proceed on course, climb and maintain flight level 2500.
All right, there's the call out. We're 2,500 feet above the ground right now. And the radio altimeter, we're seeing that right there. Not to worry about that call out because the elevation does fall away from the point that we're at right now to where El Paso is. And the radio altimeter is showing us a little below 2,000 feet above the ground. That's okay, that's okay. We're at 7,000 feet, 2,000 feet to go to my target altitude. We'll keep an eye on this, and if the ground comes up to us a little too quick, we'll suspend our descent at this time. And we're just about 1,500 feet, so I think we will do that right now. We'll come back up to 7,000 feet and hang out here at 1,500 feet above the ground. Like I said, pretty soon here, according to my elevation chart, the ground will fall away from us. As I said, El Paso is about 4,900 feet above sea level. Alright, we're just hanging out here at 143 knots. Good little speed at 7,000 feet. And we're right about 2,000 feet above the ground. About another 5 miles, we will hear the nav audio control panel will sing out on the nav 1, which is the ILS. Then we'll see that reflected on the arrow here of the HSI. We'll also see it down here on the radio magnetic indicators. These here are simply pointers, whereas this one here will help line me up. And then a little tiny arrow, little orange arrows will appear that will show where I am in altitude in relation to the glide slope. And I will follow, and I will try to follow those arrows on the HSI here. Alright, the needles just reacted on the HSI, VOR2 indicator, and on the radio magnetic indicator. I can turn off the Morse code. Okay, so on the HSI here, the middle section of the yellow line that's all the way off to the left, that means I am to the right of the beam. So I need to turn left, bank left a little bit in order to line these up. We're going to wait for that right now. And I think way off in the distance, middle of the windshield there, I see the glimmer through the cloud of runway and buildings. 20 miles out. Okay, over here on the ATC board, I have El Paso up as an opportunity, a possibility to contact. We will do that right now.
El Paso Tower, Douglas November 410 Delta Whiskey is 21 miles northeast with India to land. Douglas November 410 Delta Whiskey, El Paso Tower. Fly straight in, runway 22, altimeter 2992.
Making straight in, runway 22, Douglas 0 Delta Whiskey. All the gauges look good, we're in the greens. Go ahead and turn our landing lights on. 14 miles out. ILS is showing 18. Well, that's right. The waypoint on my GPS is actually the VOR, located just a couple miles past El Paso, or in front of, before El Paso. So my GPS is showing 14 miles. My DME for the ILS is showing 18 miles. Okay, yeah. And there I can see some more glimmer through the clouds. And we can see El Paso on the left-hand side of the windscreen there. Okay, on the HSI, those little triangles way up top of this gauge is showing that I am way low of the current glide scope given my position. Over here on VOR2, the horizontal line indicates the same thing, that right now I'm way low of the horizontal, the glide slope, where I want to be. Okay, so the clouds just clear. We see El Paso International Airport right off in our right off to the distance there, and we can see the white line. That's the runway. So as I said, I have to fly towards the arrows, the lines. I have to fly toward the horizontal situation indicator line there, the one that's separated from the arrow point. And as I made my little turn there, those should come together. When they do, I'm lined up, and that is where I want to go. And then the little orange, the little yellow triangles, okay, there, one of them is starting to move down. Okay, so I am going to kill my altitude, hold, let the nose down a little bit, and I think right now we're at the speed. We'll throttle back a little bit. We're at the speed, just a little above. Need to be at 144 to drop the gear. Here comes that middle section of the line over to the arrows, the arrowhead. It's going pretty quick, so we'll bank to the right just a little bit. See if we can't capture that. Keep that in the middle. And again, the little triangles coming down a little bit because we're descending. We're kind of matching that. Need to get this cotton ball out of my way so I can see where the hell I'm going. But that's what these gauges are here for. In case you can't see, you can line it up with the runway. Alright, we're going to drop the gear. Oh, okay, they're cleared out. Wow.
2500.
Oh, I was looking at the lights. I want to be on the left runway. Okay, let's land on the right one, on the proper runway. Okay, we heard the 2500 call out. All right, first stage flaps. I've drifted to the left a little bit, but the little yellow triangles, I'm right there on the descent. They're right in the middle of the screen, and this line over here on VOR2 is a flat horizontal line, so that means my descent path is pretty proper. I just need to be lined up. 10-4, cleared to land. Cylinder head temperature is getting a little warm, so we're going to open up the cowl flap some more to about 70%. Got to jog over to the right just a little bit here. otherwise, my descent on the glide slope is pretty good, pretty good. They're moving up just a little bit now, those yellow triangles. Now I've gotten a little low compared to the yellow triangles. We'll bring the nose up a little bit. Propeller full forward. Bring the nose up. I'm way high. Okay, that bled off a fair amount of speed. Gonna go stage 2 on the flaps. That'll slow us down a little bit more. All right, orange triangle on the line. About dead center of the gauges. I'm still to the left a little bit. knots. We want to land at about 95. This is just about perfect. 500 feet above the ground. Those buildings on the left are where I'm going to want to offload.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Southwest 571, turn next taxiway.
At the threshold, 100 feet, throttle all the way back.
Southwest
50,
571,
40,
contact ground on
30,
1.9.
20, 10, 10, 10.
Southwest 571.
Beautiful, flaps up. Gonna be able to make this taxiway here. Oh, I guess I was bringing the tail up there.
Exit runway when able. Southwest Sierra Delta Whiskey, contact ground on 121.9er.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 20, 10, 10, 10. Minimums. Minimums. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 20, 10, 10, 10. 20, 20, 10, 10, 10. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 20, 10, 10, 10. 50, 40, 30, 20, 20, 10, 10, 10.
'Alright, we'll just taxi our way over to the warehouse to offload these supplies. It is 11:15 local time. He coming our way? Nope. Very good. We're not sure where he's going. He just kind of putting right along the but this is a freeware airport that someone provided, so the taxiways may not be completely accurate to the AI. Alright, we're supposed to turn here at Kilo 1.
2501, taxi to Gate Bravo 8, using taxiway uniform FEMA. Taxi to Gate Bravo 8, using taxiway uniform FEMA. 2501.
Then we're supposed to go to the very north end of the building. We see some other crates and stuff there. And here we are. Get everything shut down, open up the cargo door so they can offload the supplies. We'll refuel, then we'll get on out of here and get back home before nighttime. Full stop at 11:21.